Greetings once again, and a shining day's wishes from me to you. My name is Sam Duncan-Doroff. I'm a fourth-year English student at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, studying literature and film, the language arts. Before shimmying down the West Coast, I came of age in the Pacific Northwest, in Portland, Oregon. Moving on from a sense of place, today let's explore the potentiality and ideas behind seasonality in storytelling, how time and its cycles imprint upon the world, how art creates dynamic expressions of these rhythms into meaning, and how, perhaps, the seasons are more elastic than we usually tend to believe. And so, as we do, let's weave a thread through in 3 chapters. First and foremost, the rhythmic, how we move through time's cycles and how art both reflects and refracts these natural patterns. Second, the seasonless, what happens when time flattens, when seasons fade into a sameness, when we lose the sense of transitions, change, and becoming. And third, beyond the temporal, love, memory, and experience that exist outside the constraints of time's turning wheel. To do this, we'll move through 3 works. Lord Byron's charged and despairing poem Darkness of 1816, Eve Babbitt's innocuous and alluring short story Bakersfield of 1974, and Michael Curtis's grand and sweeping Casablanca of 1942. We begin, as all things do, in motion. Foremost, the rhythmic, marking time's turning. 12 months, 4 seasons, 1 cycle of shifting air and shifting light, weather and feelings in flux. Presently, I am on the cusp of spring's blossom here in San Luis Obispo. Winter's breath is fading, the hillsides have absorbed precipitation and are beginning to show it in verdant fashion. The world, mine, yours, anyone's, insists upon this very forward motion. Lord Byron's poem Darkness of the so-called Year Without a Summer, after Mount Tambora's eruption filled the atmosphere with ash, captures a world where seasonality has collapsed. The sun is blotted out. The earth is cooling. Death and famine follow. I had a dream which was not all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space, rayless and pathless, and the icy earth, swung blind and blackening in the moonless air. Byron, in his gloom, gives us a vision of seasonality undone, when change does not mean renewal, but an obliteration of the natural order. Famine had written fiend. The world was void. The populous and the powerful was a lump. Seasonless, herbless, treeless, manless, lifeless. A lump of death, a chaos of hard clay. But to witness upheaval, to endure, is to create meaning from it. To see through the eyes of another, as C.S. Lewis wrote, is to escape the prison of our own singular vision, our experience. Seasonality is not simply something we experience, but something we understand by shaping it into stories, by capturing it in time and holding tight to it, by sharing it. But what about places where seasonality is so subtle, so unchanging, that time itself feels suspended? In Joni Mitchell's 1974 sweet tune Circle Game, she sings, "And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. As a fifth grader, I myself sang this song alongside my class before departing for a weekend of outdoor school up on Brainbridge Island, just north of Portland. In a dreamy fashion, we collectively cataloged how the sweet melancholy of time and seasonality was with us, now, before, and will be again, a following act of sorts. Eve Babbitt's Bakersfield, part of a short story collection called Slow Days, Fast Company, gives the dream and the trap of the seasonless paradise. California, in all its sun-drenched, seductive sprawl, teeters between idyllic and treacherous at times. To live in a place where every day looks the same is to risk forgetting that time is passing at all. And Babbitt's, in her ever coquettish way, doesn't just observe this, she plays with it. She gives us Bakersfield, an arid, unchanging stretch of California's Central Valley, where the idea of seasons feels almost absurd. And yet, beneath the bright monotony, something lurks. Women who dance with their eyes closed, smiling, are as near to heaven as you can get on earth. And there I was, in heaven, only in Bakersfield. The Central Valley is not Los Angeles, nor is it San Francisco. It is a place where the illusion of paradise thins, where the treacherous underbelly of seasonlessness is made plain. When nothing marks the passage of time, the only indicators of change are internal. This is what makes seasonality matter, not just as a force of nature, but as a way of making sense of ourselves. But what happens when the stories we tell stretch beyond seasons entirely? And so we arrive at Casablanca, a film not bound to a single season, but instead to the shifting tides of love, war, and fate. Quote, "We'll always have Paris." Here, seasonality is not about weather. It is not about the hills turning green eventually. It is about when something happens in our lives, about the moments that imprint themselves on us. Rick and Isla's love story is not a springtime romance, nor a winter tragedy. It exists outside of time, surviving in the liminal space of memory and desire. The seasons do not dictate their fate, history and chance does. And yet, seasons do exist in the film, not in nature, but in Rick's emotional landscape. The past, Paris, is a golden, sunlit dream. The present, Casablanca, is stuck in a dry, unchanging purgatory. And the future, whatever may await after the war, is unknowable, but in motion. This is the seasonality of the heart, something beyond climate, something elastic, stretching with and against time. Singer and songwriter Fiona Apple opens up earnestly about such in her 2020 tune, "I Want You to Love Me." I move with the trees in the breeze. I know that time is elastic. And I know when I go, all my particles disband and disperse, and I'll be back in the pulse. And so, seasonality is not simply an external force. It is rhythmic, something we move within. It is treacherous when lost, when time flattens, and it is elastic, bending around memory, love, and experience. To be attuned to seasons is to be attuned to change, to witness how the world shifts around us, how we shift within it. So, as spring's blossom opens in San Luis Obispo, and as winter lingers elsewhere, as the cycle of time presses on, what season are you in? I urge you, attune yourself to its dynamism and boundlessness.